Hi guys, ArchieLuxury channel, and today I've got a surprise for you. I've got a beautiful vintage GMT Pepsi. This is probably one of the nicest collectibles in modern times. This watch here is a 1675. These came out in the late 50s and ran until the early 80s. Now this here is model reference 1675. This is basically the GMT equivalent to a 1680 Submariner date. So let's take a look at this watch here and let's discuss a few of the features. So firstly, this piece here, this is an older piece. It's got a bi-directional bezel, which doesn't seem to move. Well, that's how it goes. It just needs a little bit of tinkering. Let's take a look. When you look at these vintage pieces, the number one important feature is the dial. Now let's have a look at this dial here. What do we got? We've got a beautiful, it's a tritium Swiss T25. That tells you it's a tritium dial. This dial here is in really nice condition. You can see the aging on the loom. The loom's developed a bit of patina, and the dial is in really nice condition. The hands are very nice. The 24-hour hand there, just right in the magnifier, so we can get an extra look at it. Look, it checks out all very well. I'm not 100% sure whether those hands are the original or they've been replaced, but they are definitely Rolex hands. The next thing is the case itself. What condition is it in? And you want to look at the corners to see whether it's been polished to an edge of its life. And here, the corners are quite nice, honest corners. It's this being a GMT, we don't have the chunky crown that the Submariner has. So this is the GMT crown. Flipper over the back. It's a nice piece here. Now this piece here is a late 70s, so you would expect a little bit of pitting. That's the little dots there. You wouldn't expect this to be absolutely perfect. This is not molested by any sense of the word there. This is quite a nice piece. Let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look at the serial number and the model number. So if we zoom in there, we can see it's a 16. A bit of gunk there, always the case. A bit of gunk when you're trying to focus. 1675, which is very cool. 1675 there. That tells us the model number. Beautifully done. It's nice to see it too. It's also very sharp, and that's an important characteristic. Sometimes if you fit a non-original Rolex bracelet or some NATOs can rub it over a great deal of time. Now let's have a look at the serial number. Flip the other end and presto, look at that beautiful crisp numbers. 5580047. So you can see it's in really nice condition between the lugs there. So that's an important feature. The next thing we're going to do, I've actually had this back loosened up. We're going to have a look inside. So this is going to be very careful when you do this, because you don't want any water or dust getting in here. But I'm ArchieLuxury, the pontiff, and I have special powers to do this. Now it's almost impossible to do this with one hand. Presto, unscrewed it, there we go. And let's take a look inside this piece here. So we have a look, we can see this is in really nice condition. On some of the vintage pieces, they can suffer a bit of corrosion in the lip there where the seal is, but this seems really, really nice. And if we have a look here, we got the this is the rotor, of course. That's what winds the watch, and we can see it's actually, it says 1575, which that actually relates to the plate. It's that can be what the movement reference number is, but a lot of these, they have that number because it's from that family of movements, when actually the GMT version is normally a 1575, I believe. But that's quite okay to see it like this. Look, it's a this is a nice, beautiful condition piece. No qualms whatsoever there. Just look, you can just see it's honest, beautiful vintage. Let's have a look at the case back, and the case back itself, 1675. Thank God, because I had a bit of a scare with the Submariner I was brokering. That watch turned out to have the wrong back. We will talk about that in a later video. I've got an update for you. If you have a look here, you can see a few scratches, markings here, and there's a few markings here. That is when this watch has been serviced. Watchmakers typically scroll in here when they did the service. That aids with their warranty. It aids with knowing who's done what work. So it's a very, very important feature. So if you're buying vintage, you would expect to have quite a few signature sort of markings there. Unfortunately, every watchmaker's got their own different way of having a legend what these markings mean, so they don't really mean terribly much to most people. But there we go. That's how it looks there. So very, very nice piece. The seal beautifully intact there. This is just a very, very nice, and when we look at it, it's in really, really nice condition. You would expect this here. This is a late 70s piece, 40-year-old piece. You would expect it to have some wear and tear. That's kind of what you'd expect. Just put it on here and just ever so lightly wind. I'll do that with the camera off there. Let's take a look at the bracelet. So this watch here is fitted with a flip lock bracelet. I've got to do a bit of research there. Some of the earlier 70s had the folded bracelet, but considering it's late 70s, 1978, it could be correct. He's got the Submariner clasp, which was quite common. A lot of people did actually prefer that clasp. Obviously, it does not have the dive extension as such, but that was quite common for people to want the Submariner clasp there. So it is all period correct, true to form. The bracelet, look, it's in remarkably good condition. You could use a bit of a polish if you wanted to get it like new, but something tells me barnyard find, leave it original would be the way to go.